Yo, what is up, Hansel and Gretel, damsels and kettles and flannels and pebbles? Should have thought that went through. Pow, but I didn't. Um, and so in today's video, my friends, we're going to be combining Crashbar with Airwave. And thank you so much for joining me. I am Botbender Orange, and you are you. And today is going to be a collaborative effort. I'm going to build stuff. You're going to watch stuff, and hopefully we're going to have fun together. Yay! But yeah. While I take this guy apart, while I take both of them apart, actually. Yeah, sincerely wishing everyone is having a great day. It is early in the morning for me. Stretch up and a yawning still. Having my coffee, a little bit of toffee. Talk to my butler, Joffrey. No, I was kidding. I got no butler. And I guess Joffrey is the first name that came to mind because that was the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. But yeah, no, real talk. Hope everyone is doing fantastico. Let's see if I can figure this out without instructions. I have some pictures taken so that I can follow along if necessary. But I think we'll be able to manage. I hope so. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute, dog. Was it like this? I think I may need my other phone, but I do know that ultimately we do something like this, and we're not going to be using Airwave's head. I just have to get the orientation like perfect. In orientation, I mean a lot of it is like spacing. And by the way, if you have an Airwave, this is something really cool that you can do with the arm. You pop this up, and then you like flip this, and then you bring it down. You can keep it like this, but in this particular, and this is arguably better because you have two shields over here and you still retain the range of motion. But in this one, the spacing doesn't quite work out. And so therefore, I'm doing that. And I think that's how I had it, so that he could have outward movement too. I was gonna say, do you guys have any like morning rituals that you typically follow? I mean, like I do. I've talked about like my meditation. And in the morning when I'm prepping builds and stuff like that, it's I try not to I mean, like I have YouTube running, but I have like music playing because I try not to fill my thoughts with other people's voices. I mean, I love watching YouTube. I love watching media just like anyone else. But in the morning, I like just having music, soft music playing. And the reason why I like having soft music playing is it keeps my cup empty. And what I mean by that, it allows me to process and synthesize thought. If I have somebody else's voice in my ear, that's basically they are filling my cup. And you can only hold so much in a cup, you know what I mean? And so I try not to fill my ear with anyone else's voice in the morning because I want to synthesize, my dreams, what happened to me yesterday, like how I'm going to apply those to the things that I'm going to do today. I think I'm getting this right. And yeah, because, think about it. Back in the day, if you just think about like evolution and like where we came from and stuff, we didn't have all this stuff, So there was a lot of time for man to ponder, look upon the stars, gaze, and just kind of muse and daydream and think about things and process the events of the day before. And it was a necessary part of evolution. And I feel like we've kind of lost that. So I try to bring that back, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes of meditation. And also when I'm doing these builds, when I'm when I'm preparing them, like have you guys seen the Benjamin's Deli shorts that I do? Because those are just little like hand movements and stuff like that. And anything that I'm just kind of thinking are repetitive tasks to some degree where I don't need too much brain power. Yeah, I just try to just keep everything empty and just let things come in and flow and stuff. And but yeah, just curious if you guys do stuff. I'm going to be removing this guy's head. It's going to be a chore. I put his head back for the sake of pictures, but the head is on a 5mm ball peg. It's not supposed to be removable per Hasbro's customer care that I spoke with. Although the instructions show it and the box shows and all of that shows it, they kind of changed their direction later on. because this is not, it's not on like a 5 millimeter peg like Volcanicus where you can just like pop it off. It's seated inside like a what do you call it, like a rail kind of, and so you can't just pull up. What you got to do is you got to pull back. But when you pull back, there's a tendency for the head to kind of dip as well. So you got to pull out so that the neck doesn't dip in, and you got to pull back. And I'm going to try to do it. Oh, I got it. But see, you saw that the head. Dude, I almost took a dump, dude. I strained way too much on that, dude. Almost had a hernia, dude. I was like, oh. That'd be bad, dude, if I took a dump at work, dude. I'm like, all right, man, that's a wrap on the day, dude. That's a wrap on the life, on the year, dude. And people saw me, dude. Yo, that's a wrap, dude. And so we popped the head back there. The neck stalk is a little bit long, right? And so in order to kind of hide that, when we complete him, we're going to be putting him at this angle so you don't see too much of it, right? I think that's cool. All right, dude, I sprained my pinky this morning. I could see it kind of swelling up. I know what happened, dude. Being old sucks sometimes, man. I mean, there's great things with regard to being old. Like, you know, I have a ton of knowledge, and I'm happy about that. But like, man, dude, like, just getting like injured regularly while doing like nothing is not great. It's not great. And I'm kind of doing this by memory, but I think I'm getting it right. Yeah, there's a ton of great things about being old too, but there's wonderful things about being young. Every time in your life basically has something special, you know. Wait a minute. Why does this look different? I guess the placement of this peg doesn't really matter. Sure, we'll have it facing up. Yeah. I mean, when you're younger, when you're real young, it's a time of learning. It's a time of growth. Your brain is malleable, you know. It can learn new things, and it's preparing you for the long journey ahead. It's almost like it's the tutorial phase, you know what I mean? It's like you got to learn so that when you actually get into the main game later, like, you know how to play your character, you know how to interact with the world. Like, you know what I'm saying, dude? That's when you're young, that's what it's for, and that's why your brain is so what is it? Like open to learning at a younger age, like babies learning languages, you picking up crafts, also like your body being able to bounce back from like injury, because sometimes those learnings will require you to take like physical risks and stuff, you know? Sorry. I think I need a little piece of paper in there. Otherwise, it's going to be super loose. But you know what? For the sake of the video, William Shakespeare. For the sake of this video, we'll just kind of like power through it. Dude, my tongue's been failing me way too frequently, and I feel like my brain is just working faster than my tongue can handle, and so I'm just trying to say a lot of stuff. Okay. And then these two little gray saddlebags, you got to bring them in a little bit so that you can... Wow, I did this by memory. I'm pretty happy, dude. So you can plug the Crashbar legs in there. Let me adjust the camera really quick. And when you're a young adult and you're out of your teen years, you're out of your children years, you're supposed to not supposed to, but just like you exude beauty, youth, strength, a promise of a future, because they've done studies and they said people find each of the genders most attractive like when they're in their early to late 20s, and that's because that is the prime of your physical life. And then as you get older, beauty and stuff like that is it fades with age, and it's supposed to. It's naturally supposed to, and because that's specific to that particular period. And once you're out of that time and you start getting into older, you're supposed to amass like wisdom from the things that you learned when you were a child to your young adult. And not only do you start amassing that wisdom, you're supposed to prepare to kind of pass it along to the next generation, so that the next travelers who come on this road have an easier time than you did. and so that they can be better prepared to interact with this environment, so that they can craft their own adventure, their own stories, and perhaps then they will pass it on, and so on and so forth. And as a collective, as a human species, then we in aggregate help each other move forward. Everyone helps each other move forward. And so that is one of the beauties of the internet, in that it's a big knowledge repository, and that we can share these collective experiences. But at the same time, it's also a cesspool. It has a ton of negative things as well. And so that's why you got to be mindful about which pool you drink at. Sometimes the pool of water will be clean, sometimes it won't be. But you got to make sure which one is and which one isn't. Talk to people, do research, find out what you're putting in your body and your mind, because ultimately you are what you consume, whether it be food or content, and that'll affect you on this journey in life. And I want you to have the most pleasant one as possible. And when I say most pleasant one, I don't mean that it should be devoid of pain, because you learn a lot of things from failures, from pain, from mistakes. You learn what doesn't work, You learn, like when you prick your finger on that prickly thorn or vine, you realize, ooh, I should be careful with that, And so life isn't necessarily all about daisies and roses and having no discomfort whatsoever. It's about growth. It's about the experience, And so maybe even this chat, me as your virtual neighbor, maybe this has helped somebody. And if so, great, because somebody's had this chat with me as well. Not sure why I'm in such a pensive, kind of thoughtful mood this morning. Like I said, perhaps it's just a spillover from my meditation. But yeah. And while we did that, we merged Crashbar and Airwave, and I had a lot of fun. It was very cathartic. It was a nice release for me. And hopefully this was fun for you too. Yeah. I will talk to you very soon, my friends. There's daily content here. And throughout your day, I hope, or in the evening, or whenever you find this in space-time, I hope you have the greatest of joy, peace, insight, lucidity, and that you can grow bigger, better, stronger, and move onward and enjoy this journey that we call life, huh? Have a nice day, friends.